Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate it. This is a daily forecast for all signs. It is originally created for Saturday, the 9th of October. It is not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a date that's different, you might be seeing it because you're ready for the message rather than the date that it was created for. So keep that in mind. Don't get stuck up on the date. What else was I going to say? Sorry, I'm having an allergic reaction this morning. Like, I started sneezing right before coming on camera, so excuse me if I sound like runny-nosed and stuffy. What was I going to say? Please check the drop-down menu for those of you that are new. In there is some housekeeping rules and just things that I want you to know about the channel. There's links to the decks that I use so that you can support the artists that create these decks if you're a reader yourself. If you're interested in a private reading, you can contact me via my social medias. Direct message me either on Instagram or at my Facebook business page. Please feel free to hit the thumbs up button on this video if you enjoy the video, and subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you. It's a good group of regular viewers that tune in all of the time, so that's available to you. If things don't necessarily make sense to you or they don't seem to fit with wherever you're at in your life, that's okay. Nothing's wrong or broken. You might just be working on something different at this time, so don't stress, don't worry. But let's see, and I do speak in broad terms, so be prepared for that, meaning you have to kind of figure out where this reading best fits in your life rather than, you know, me telling you what fits in your life. Okay, so let's see here. Sorry, my nose is like giving me trouble this morning. Okay, what card is the card of the day? The card of the day is, boom, the Six of Pentacles. All right, so we've got that nice ox, beautiful beast of burden there. Now, with the Six of Pentacles, there's always an element of charity, giving and receiving with the Six of Pentacles. And it is still that earthy energy, which we saw in yesterday's reading. We had that Knight of Pentacles, right? So to me, I feel like the message here, and this is more for like the overarching week, right? So for those of you that watch every day, I feel like there's this shift between kind of... All right, from Sunday's reading, we had the Ace of Wands and the Fool, which is all about new beginnings, starting new journeys, new endeavors, right? Being, ideally excited about that, inspired by that, willing to take risks to make that happen. And then we saw during the Libra new moon, which new moons are also about building. Remember that, right? New moons, full moons are about releasing. New moons are about building. And we did have a Libra moon, which was called out to me by a viewer. Thank you so very much for that, because I was unaware. I wasn't paying attention to the moon calendar at all. But we were seeing the Justice card, which is the sign of Libra, right around the time of the Libra new moon. So it was about sort of maybe bringing things back into balance for ourselves. Now, when I'm looking at this this Pentacles energy that's following after that, because we saw the Libra Justice, right? And then we saw the King of Swords, which would also be about, you know, being analytical, being logical, using our thought and our communication in a very well-skilled, deft manner to get our needs accomplished. Now we're working on it. We're taking the physical action. We're taking the movement. We're making the things happen, right? What I love about this card is the clouds are sort of clearing away above this ox's head, right? We're seeing the project at hand or the steps that we need to take. And certainly with yesterday's Knight of Pentacles, we're willing to dedicate ourselves to that work, to those endeavors, to putting ourselves forth to do whatever it needs to, you know, whatever needs to happen to make this work for us, right? Whatever we're dealing with. Now, each one of you are going to be dealing with something different person, a different situation, a different wish, desire, thought. But whatever it is, when I see the Knight of Pentacles from yesterday, and now I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles today, it's very much about productivity. It's very much about getting in there and getting things done. It's very much about being grounded, practical, centered, right? The ox is an animal that, as I'm saying this to you, I'm getting this picture in my mind's eye. The ox is a animal that moves at a very slow pace, similar to sort of that burro, right, that we saw yesterday, or that mule that we saw yesterday. But again, it's a beast of burden. It's a pack animal. It's quite strong. It's quite capable. It's grounded. It knows what it needs to do to get done what it needs to get done. Sixes to me often mean balance, right? And that also parallels off of the balance that we saw in the midweek of that Justice card during the new moon in Libra, right? She is represented by the scales and by the sign of Libra. So we should be going into this day ideally ready to work, balanced, ready to get things accomplished, centered, willing to give a little, willing to take a little, right? There's always this element of sort of charitable aspect or charitable actions happening within the Six of Pentacles. It's not the richest card in the Pentacles deck, but it's the card where we do things from a place of honesty, authenticity. It's a card where we maybe help others where and when we can, and helping others can be financial because it is a Pentacles card, but I also sometimes broaden that perception or that meaning into we can help others with our time, with our attention, with our advice, with our suggestions, right? And with an animal like the ox here, and just the sort of general nature of Pentacles energy, is it's a value. What we have, our experiences, what we've been through, what we've learned, even through hardship, what we've learned serves us in one way or another. And we can also utilize that to help serve others, to teach others, to prepare others for whatever it is that they may need. And, God, I'm all phlegmy and weird this morning. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. We can also allow others to assist and help us if we're the ones in need. There's nothing wrong for asking for a helping hand, a gentle reminder, a positive suggestion, or maybe a different perception on a situation that we might be working through or in. And so sometimes it's that outlook that's given to us that it allows us to be more like this ox and be able to continue to move forward in that balanced, steady, workhorse sort of way. So what I mean is that everything that we do today should be with an element of productivity, with an element of a focus of doing the sort of the right things for the right reasons, maybe even including others, because yesterday when we saw that Knight of Pentacles, he's more about listening to no one other than himself, where the Six of Pentacles would be about, taking in a little bit more of a perspective of the greater whole, and how does my actions or my work affect others? Where can I be of service to others? How can I be an asset rather than a detriment to situations or people, including yourself, right? So I love this. Remember, underneath this, and I quoted this yesterday too, we have that Leo card of strength, the major arcana card, strength, ending out this week. So we should be able to understand how strong, capable, and willing we are today to get accomplished whatever it is that we need to get accomplished. So keep that in mind. The facts, these clearing clouds really have got my attention on this card. The clearing clouds can be, we may not know everything all up front at once, but be patient. That would be definitely a Pentacles quality. If we're patient, we're going to understand the steps we need to take in the moment as we go, right? The bird on top of the ox's head, I think of those birds, that pick sort of the gnats or whatever that live on the ox, they eat off of it. It's like a symbiotic relationship. But I love that that bird on his head is singing. Also, there's a joy to be had today, even if we're dealing with sort of mundane tasks. There are going to be high points to our workday or to our push that should bring us exactly, the uplift that we need to continue forward. Now, the card that we have here is Emily Dickinson, the Soul. I love how she's like in a white dress holding it like that looks like a cat. I think that's supposed to be a cat, but I swear to God, it looks more like a weasel or a ferret. But whatever, Emily, you do your damn thing. So the Soul, let's read Emily's story. I love that she has that white dress of purity, meaning she's trusting herself. She knows who she is. She's there by herself. There's an equality between the white dress and the black cat, right? That to me, it's like there's a balance in who we are. We understand who we are, both good and bad, and we accept it at a very deep level because she represents the word, the soul. So, and I also think that that's the balance that we see not only in Libra from the Libra full moon, right? Or the Libra new moon and that card of justice, but it should be the balance that we see in ourselves that has allowed us to push forward, to find our strength, and to move onward into our endeavor where we're able to take care of ourselves and others. Now let me find her card really quick just to read you her little story. God, I'm like so snotty this morning. It's just like not even funny. Come on, Emily, quit hiding, girl. Where are you? You would think that they would put these in order, but of course not. That'd be too easy. I mean, in alphabetical order. All right, the soul. Spiritual life, the inner world, the unknown. Emily Dickinson, from 1830 to 1886, spent her whole life in Amherst, Massachusetts. Refusing conventional religion and her prominent family's exhausting social schedule, she instead cultivated a unique spiritual and social life. She wrote long letters to friends, worked in the garden, and created strikingly original poetry about God, death, pain, and love. When Dickinson died, even those closest to her were shocked to find her life's work of 1,800 poems neatly folded in a drawer. So that makes me wonder, like, what do we have that would shock people? That is, and I don't mean shock in a bad way, but what do we have folded in our own sort of proverbial drawer, hidden about ourselves, that is special, that is brilliant, that is wonderful within ourselves, right? I kind of feel like that might be what these cards are telling us. And remember that stone this week that kicks off the entire week was that respect stone. And I was kind of turning it more towards this idea of self-respect. And where are we able to give ourselves that self-respect? That, that how do we build that within ourselves, right? Because when we can truly respect and love ourselves, then we can truly respect others and bring our best foot forward into situations. Does that make sense? The word today is on tiger's eye, so we want to ground in the grounding stone, and that would be the idea of forgive. If there's anything we need to forgive ourselves or situations for, go ahead and do so. Find that forgiveness within you. It will free your soul. It will also it will bring about that balance. It will allow you to be there for others. It will allow you to perceive things in a more balanced and, centered way so that you can be of service, so that you can give a little bit more to situations that otherwise you weren't able to. This is the day to do that and to be able to move forward. These are a beautiful set of cards. They're not the most like miraculous, but they really are very sort of like, they have this practical, beautiful sort of sense of self that I feel like is going on. So I hope you find that for yourself today. That is your forecast. Please tune in. Please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.